an emerging discrepancy that's very modern and quite ascribed to the space in which I operate in some ways is body dysmorphia. 2021 survey had 54% of men saying that they had a form of body dysmorphia, whilst 49% of women in the same study said that they did. And those stats shocked me because of, I guess, societal understanding of how this narrative normally goes, but I have noticed an increasing confusion with men around how they feel that they should be perceived and look, but it's been, I guess, a more commonly discussed area with women and how the beauty industry presents itself and all these things. So the fact that that is the case, and then we have comments like the ones Billie Eilish made at the end of last year, whenever it was, saying that men aren't subject to this sort of thing. Women, we all get along, so we support one another. Things like that just completely diminished those 54% of men, or those that are higher that aren't actually willing to admit that they've got that challenge, is again, ignorance or statement without knowledge is doing more damage to men than the things that are right in front of us. So it's insights and knowledge acquisition that will help us better understand what it is that we can do as a society to help men. So body dysmorphia as a whole, what is your understanding of the direction that's going with men?
It's a bit like what I talked about in therapy, how often our approaches are developed around how it presents in women. And I think the same as with body dysmorphia. Like, men are not insecure about the same thing women are insecure about. Like, men are insecure about their hairline or their height or their penis size, that sort of thing. Women are more often insecure about their body weight, for example. So I think a lot of women don't understand the fact that it presents differently in men, and therefore we don't really see it in the same way. And that sort of leads us to this insanely ignorant thing for Billie Eilish to say, where she said, men aren't insecure about their bodies because women are nice. And I'm like, well, men are insecure about their bodies, and not all women are nice. Like, a lot of men's insecurities around their body does actually come from other women, especially around things like height and how short men are shamed, and not just from women either. Like, men at all get paid more than short men. They get the easier, more promotions, more pay rises and stuff like that. They're just seen as more respectable. It's like the whole president thing, where it's always a taller president that gets elected. So it's not the same, and it's an emerging problem. And thankfully, we're seeing more and more represented in that statistic, to the point where there are now more men with signs of body dysmorphia than women. And it's really sad, because it not only destroys men's mental health and erodes their perspective of what is a perfectly beautiful body and an attractive guy, but they also encourages them to enter into like very dangerous surgical procedures and medical procedures to try and ameliorate the problem. So we have things now like leg breaking surgery. Leg breaking surgery was originally for people that had a leg shorter than the other. It was a very useful medical thing to help people with an actual condition. But now men are doing it for cosmetic reasons, and it costs like $10,000. Like, I think it costs about $50,000. It gives you about 2 inches more. And what they'll do is they'll break both your femurs, and they'll put titanium extending tubes into them. Your face says it all. And they'll extend the tubes over a period of months, excruciatingly painful. Imagine having your bone stretched permanently. And then after 2 or 3 months, they'll take them out. And like, that's what men are doing. That's how far they're going to. That's how insecure a lot of men are. And then there's various different things like penis size, like various contraptions or implants, or like pumps or pills. And it's endless. And it's just, none of these are like safe. None of them work. They're dangerous. And they're all as a result of that 51%, I think you said, of men having body dysmorphia issues.
54, I think 54. It was. And it's, again, a number that's increasing, I think. And I think I went on a podcast in California at the start of 2023. And we were just laughing beforehand about what stuff performs best for them, etc. And they said that their best and their most engaged with, the most viewed video ever was about penis pumps. And it was, I kind of laughed at the time, being like, oh, it's an interesting topic. But actually, the deeper question is, well, actually, people are looking for answers. And that comes from that insecurity around, am I adequate, with things that you ultimately can't change without, as you've just described, and my face has told the story, are real stretches. I can't see how medically that is sound. I see that as an intervention that probably doesn't have the reinforcement that required to make it something long. Didn't they do a South Park episode on this? I think there was a South Park episode 10 years ago or something, where somebody was elongated by breaking bones, and here we are in modern day where that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to dismiss the fact that people are being led to that because of the source issue, but yeah, it's my hairline. I've always had the piss taken out of me for mine. I'm just showing the camera here. It's always been high, but it's never actually gone backwards. And there are people that have taken the piss out of it.
It's beautiful.
Whose hairlines have since gone backwards. So I'm going to take this moment to just say I told you so on that one for listening. But also it's never bothered me. But I feel that if it did start going backwards, it would bother me. And I'd be pretty sharpish on. I'd probably head to Turkey. I would have it adjusted if it did start going backwards. I feel that there'd be a part of me that I'd lose, and I'd probably do something about it. I'll say that here and now. I've never actually said that on a podcast before in a video, but that is something that I am aware of. And I make a living in fitness, but I'm not in any way body composition driven. I never have been. I did it once and decided this isn't healthy. Everything is performance, utility. How can I measure my ability to do things and improve my things on metrics, not how I look visually, because I find that quite empowering and freeing. But yeah, the things about my appearance that I can't change, like if my hairline went backwards, I guess there's a locus of control there that I lose because I don't have power over that. And then I'd be faced with the decision of, do I still feel like myself, or do I? And that's got to come from the judgment that society's given, because I'm quite unfazed by other things. So yeah, I think it's a problem that's only going to get worse because social media is becoming more and more sensationalist, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first and foremost, Fergus, like, your hair is beautiful and luscious and amazing. So I hope you don't feel insecure about it anymore.
Thank you.
But I think the sad thing about men's insecurities are on their body, and I'm careful not to speak on women's behalf, but things that women are insecure about, like their weight, for example, that can actually be changed through dieting. But if you're a short man with like a receding hairline, or a bald man, or have a small penis, what can you do about that? Like, you can't, there's nothing, if you're short, you're short. Unfortunately, that's nothing you can do about it. But I wonder if women have more ability to change their body to make themselves feel less insecure than men, because things like body fat are more within your control. Not entirely, of course, but they're certainly more within your control than your height. The thing about the penis implants as well, I think it's called a pneuma, and it's basically like a silicone roll that goes around your dick, and it just makes it much bigger. And the scary thing is that the way that passed FDA inspection was because it was the same technology as we use in like Brazilian bum implants and boob jobs. So the way it works in America, as long as you can show, as long as another FDA approved approach has been signed off, you can do it elsewhere. So because you can use in bums and boobs, it can be used in penises as well. But it shouldn't be, because it's not the same. Because unlike your bum, your penis gets bigger and smaller and changes shape and size every single day, all day. And that's why it doesn't work. And that's why there's been so much pain and trauma as a result of these products. Only compounds the mental health side of it, because now it's even worse, and you've spent a huge amount of money. And I think it's slowly changing. I think people are actually opening their eyes to men being insecure of their bodies just as much as women. But I wish we would talk more about how they're often insecure about different things, different parts of their body, for example.